The Jeep Wrangler just became the first vehicle to roll over during the IIHS Small Overlap Frontal Crash Test. That's the subject of this episode of AutoComplete. Now, the Small Overlap Frontal Crash Test is well known for being one of the most difficult IIHS tests to pass, and when it was first introduced back in 2012, it caught a lot of otherwise well-regarded and typically high-scoring automakers off guard. Some of those first tests are pretty gnarly to watch, but none of them are as gnarly as the test for the 2019 Jeep Wrangler. The IIHS randomly chooses vehicles to retest as part of their auditing process, to make sure that manufacturers are keeping quality and crashworthiness up to snuff after a model's initial round of tests. This time, they chose a 2019 Wrangler 4-door with a soft top, and the results were not what anyone expected. The Wrangler managed to roll over during the driver's side small overlap test. In the video, you can see the SUV's solid front axles start to fold under the car and seemingly act as a ramp of sorts to cause the car to roll. Once on its side, the vehicle continues to slide until it contacts the plastic barrier that surrounds the test area. The IIHS contacted Jeep representatives after the rollover and asked what was going on. Jeep posited that the rollover wasn't the vehicle's fault, but rather had to do with the way that the IIHS engineers attach their vehicle propulsion system. They don't run the engines during these tests, obviously. The engineers from the IIHS and Jeep worked out another way to attach the propulsion system that they both agreed on and retested. You'll never guess what happened next. Yeah, it rolled again. This led the IIHS to give the JL Generation Wrangler a rating of marginal in this particular test, which is just one rung above poor on the IIHS scale. That's their worst ranking. For comparison, the previous JK generation Jeep Wrangler scored a good in the small overlap frontal crash test, the organization's highest score. While these results are kind of shocking to see, we're happy to report to Jeep fans everywhere that the JL Wrangler scored good marks in the moderate overlap front, side, roof, and head restraint evaluations, so it's not all bad news. That's it for this episode of Roadshow's AutoComplete. I've been Kyle Hyatt. You've been just fantastic, and I would ask you to not only hit the subscribe and notification buttons if you're enjoying what we do here, but please avail yourself of the comments section and let us know what you would like us to cover next.